Nicole 3 years ago was very cut off from everyone, like really anxious about going out. I wouldn't even be able to have done this 3 years ago. And now it's just fantastic.
Nicole Cowell grew up in a family with two brothers who had special educational needs. Providing a supportive environment for children with learning difficulties requires the cooperation of every member of the family.
We had to be very regimented in our house, so it was set times for the boys to do things, because that can sometimes affect, like it can cause triggers, or if something's not in a set way, sometimes I get upset with it. But when I hit my teenage years, I obviously wanted to be out with my friends, and I wanted to go out late, and I wanted to just like enjoy life like a teenager. And it wasn't anybody's fault that that wasn't able to be the case. It's just how it works sometimes with special educational needs children, because both my brothers are very high up on the scale as well. So when I got to 16, me and my mum decided together that it was better for me to move out. So at 16 my mum was like, right, we need to find somewhere for you to go. And that's when the foyer came in. So I rung them up, and within a couple of days we were like, yeah, we got you a space, you can come in, you can come and live here. The foyer is basically a youth hostel for 16 to 25 year olds to go when you're not talking to your parents or for whatever reason you've had to move out.
So the purpose of the foyer is to give young people an opportunity to have a better and more positive future. We try and help someone in a positive way, so that could be through training, education, getting into work.
We identify their needs on entry. A lot of people come to us through homelessness, family breakdowns, and this is a 2-year stay for a young person to be with us as well. As you can see, these are our values. We seek out, we actively look for opportunities for young people. We welcome all young people, visitors, family, through mediation we do as well. So it's not just for the young person, there's a massive amount of work that we give that person. We inspire, so we do try to inspire them, to give them that belonging that, okay, that's happened, but how do we move forward onto this now?
We try and make it as safe as possible. We try and make it a place that people want to be and that count as their home.
The YMCA provided a safe and supportive environment for Nicole to make this important transition to life outside the family unit. After moving on from the foyer, Nicole enjoyed her new independence as she continued her education at university. But her life was to take an unfortunate turn when she formed a relationship that was to become emotionally abusive, destroying her confidence and causing mental health problems.
Emotional abuse is usually associated with an individual who will deliberately demean, belittle, undermine, criticise, not constructively but in a negative way, the individual, to make them feel either worthless, helpless, and more significantly hopeless.
It wasn't until after I'd come out of that relationship that I realised something hadn't been right through those years. I ended up like locking myself off from everyone else. I was quite isolated for a year or so.
Hopelessness creates a lack of ambition to do things in your life, and then almost inevitably leads to the social anxiety we spoke about, social isolation.
I was at uni at this point as well. But I stopped going to uni, and obviously the uni gets worried because you've disappeared and you don't usually do that. And I didn't want to admit that something was wrong. Shaun started coming round, and we started talking, and he was like, no, you've got to go to the doctors, we've got to find out if you're okay. And I got there, and I thought they were going to be like, oh, we don't know what it is, we've no idea, blah, blah, blah. And I went in and I explained what had happened, and they were like, yeah, we know what's happened. And
you were diagnosed?
I was diagnosed with a high social anxiety disorder. I started counselling. They put me on medication to try and help the anxiety. They put me on beta blockers first. They didn't work. They made me really, really ill. So they changed it over. and what I'm on now is absolutely fantastic.
But the thing that made a big difference to your life in all sorts of ways was your involvement with Ignite.
It was, yes, yeah. My best friend Victoria, who I've known for 11 years, she works, I think it's like 12 now, gosh. She works as part of the Ignite project.
The idea of Ignite, young people come to us with their own projects and we learn to do them projects ourselves whilst helping them through things that they might not have thought of, so risk assessments, licensing, sort of more the boring side of it, but the stuff that you need.
The Ignite programme is a 3-year funded project through the big lottery based at Voluntary Action North East Links. It's a programme that works with young people to develop leadership potential within young people, encouraging them to take leadership roles within their community.
When I started becoming stable, Victoria was like, right, you're just in time, apply for this job, it'll do you like loads and loads of good. I'd heard of Ignite, I'd done a couple of bits with a little bit of voluntary work here and there, but nothing major. I thought personally that I wasn't going to get the job because of my social anxiety, and I spoke to him in the interview, explained it all. That evening I got a phone call saying we'd like to invite you to be part of the Ignite team, and it's just everything turned. Like, they gave me such an opportunity. I've been involved with Shaun's long strip project. Me and him set it up and went to the meetings and things like that. It is mainly Shaun's, but kind of like a co-person in the background. I set up a Halloween event to raise money for Counting Hope, which is an organisation that we work closely with. Me and a co-worker have just done a beach fun day at the end of August for young people to come and try out different sports in our area.
Nicole's time with Ignite is now coming to an end as she begins a new career that is close to her heart. You've come to the end of your time with Ignite. What happens next?
So I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do, and then I decided I want to go into teaching, but I'm not ready to start actual teaching yet. I need some experience. And a job came up at a special educational needs school for a teaching assistant. I thought, yeah, I'm gonna give it a go. Like 3 years ago, I wouldn't have even thought about it, but I thought, no, I'm gonna do this. And then I got the phone call saying we'd like to invite you onto our team. I've done the induction day, and everyone's really nice. I'm really excited, and I start in a couple of weeks.
I think it's safe to say that teaching assistants are incredibly valuable to teachers. I think if you ask any teacher across the nation, they'll say if they're fortunate enough to have a teaching assistant, they are really, really valuable. The role of the teaching assistant has changed so much over the years. It used to be that they had a very straightforward role of maybe making sure the classroom looked nice, tidying up, making sure displays looked nice, which was a great resource to have. But as times have changed, the job role has evolved to now quite literally being a teacher's assistant. The role of the teaching assistant is to support children's learning primarily and have the biggest impact they possibly can on the progress of children.
What's the difference between the Nicole 3 years ago and the Nicole now?
The Nicole 3 years ago was very cut off from everyone, like really anxious about going out. I wouldn't even be able to have done this 3 years ago. And now it's just fantastic.
Nicole is now a happy and confident young woman in a loving and supportive relationship, making the most of her caring nature in a role where she can experience the joy and satisfaction of helping and inspiring others. If you have been affected by any of the issues raised in this programme, you can get help from your GP, or you can contact the Samaritans on 116 123. If you have an idea for a project that can help your local community, call the Ignite team at Voluntary Action North East Lincolnshire on 01472 231 123.